my philosophy with just life and the decisions that I make has been, all right, I know that there's no destination that I'm heading towards. There's no final resting place. But if I like the scenery, then I'm on the right path. I just want to enjoy the scenery.
That seems like a worthy ambition, if you could even call it an ambition. It's more of a recognition or an appreciation, because that really is what happens when you do surrender. When you do let go, is you just recognize that your life is perfectly appropriate, and there's nothing that you would want to change, because you can see how much you've already become. But it's when we get wrapped up in that idea of ourselves, and I think that really does separate in the so-called spiritual teachers from those who are serving a purpose in being students and teaching at the same time, is that one is very much an egotistical thing. It's like you're going through the spiritual concepts, you're going through the quote unquote education to achieve a certain point wherein you can look down on everybody else because you know and they do not. So you enter right into that dichotomy, and that's your entire ambition for the whole journey, which is why you can't pass that point. You can't let it go, because it is your value. It's everything you've been striving for. Whereas if you recognize that's actually not as valuable as you might think, putting yourself up there actually does harm that you may not be aware of, simply because you're over invested in the benefit that you're reaping. Then you have to have a change. You actually have to have the recognition of, maybe what I think I am isn't as important as I want to think it is. And that's the letting go. As soon as you have that revelation, everything changes. Your reason for doing everything changes. It's not necessarily that it's fulfilling to you so much as an expression of your growing fulfillment, right? Which is a very different place to be. I wanted to mention this quickly. I'm sorry, I'm going to sidetrack here just for a quick moment, because over the weekend, we were talking about labels here in this episode. And over the weekend, I had a moment of insight, because I've always been bothered by the word belief, particularly when it comes to just accepting something as truth without looking at it or questioning it or anything else. And in the New Testament, Jesus repeatedly says, believe in God and believe in me. And that has never sat right with me. It's always bothered me, because if you read the rest of what he's saying, there's no way that he would be saying trust a fiction. There's no way. So I've been sitting here trying to figure out what the hell happened. And then it dawned on me, maybe the word belief changed. And so I went and checked out the etymology, and it did. The word believe was actually closer to just being care for or hold dear. So to believe in something was to care for something. It was never to accept it as just what it is. Don't look at it, don't question it, stay away, right? It was none of that. It was just care for or hold dear. And then in the 12th century, when the church was at the height of its power, belief was redefined as a conviction of a truth without knowledge. Whoa. That's the shift. So Jesus was never saying what every Christian says he was saying. He just said, love God and love yourself and love me, because they're all the same.